Hi there, my name is Iris D'Alessandro, and I've decided for the month of November to do a study on the book of Proverbs. Proverbs is full of small nuggets of wise sayings that we can apply to our everyday lives. And in today's world, who doesn't want wisdom? Wisdom is the main character of Proverbs. It is written by Solomon, David's son, the king of Israel. And in verses 2 to 4 it says, their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline to help them understand the insights of the wise. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. These proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge, and discernment to the young. Proverbs are rules for our everyday living. As I said, we are in a world today that we need wisdom. We need rules. We need guidance. We need godly guidance as to what decisions to make today. 5 and 6 says, let the wise listen to these proverbs and become even wiser. Let those with understanding receive guidance by exploring the meaning in these proverbs and parables, the words of the wise and their riddles. Our best decision in life would be to seek wisdom. Getting wisdom is something that we should aim for. I wish that in my earlier years I would have sought out wisdom. I can pretty honestly say that I could have probably avoided a lot of problems had I sought wisdom first for decisions that I made in the past. Verse 7 says, the fear of the Lord is the foundation of true knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. The fear of the Lord is not it's not fearing him, it's not being afraid of him, but it's having reverence, it's being in awe of him, of who God is. For God is powerful, God is loving. God's desire is to give us what we need, fulfill our needs. But many times people turn away from God. But for somebody seeking wisdom, the fear of the Lord means disappointing him. Knowing him, having a relationship with God drives us to living a godly life. Wise people will heed the commands of the Lord, but fools will ignore them. They will turn their backs on God. Verse 7 and 8. My child, listen when your father corrects you. Don't neglect your mother's instructions. What you learn from them will crown you with grace and be a chain of honor around your neck. This isn't just for fathers and mothers. Yes, we need to obey our parents, but it's also father and mother are teachers. And so that encompasses other teachers in our lives. Adults that we see are making wise decisions, adults that don't jump at any little opportunity that comes across their way, that puts things to the test, prays about it, and takes their time. That is a wise person. These are all teachers in our lives. There are many people that will teach us the wrong things, and we need to beware of that. And that's where godly wisdom comes in. Seek the Lord for godly wisdom. Ask him for it. Solomon did, and he got it. We need to heed those words. And even when we get wise words from someone, we need to pray about those words and make sure that they align with what God is speaking to us. In verses 10 through 14, my child, if sinners entice you, turn your back on them. They say, come and join us. Let's hide and kill someone just for fun. Let's ambush the innocent. Let's swallow them alive like the grave. Let's swallow them whole like those who go down to the pit of death. Think of the great things we'll get. We'll fill our houses with all the stuff we take. Come, throw in your lot with us. We'll all share of the loot. Now, this is pretty harsh, but in many instances, it's true in today's world. You know, let's hide and kill someone just for fun. Sadly, that does go on. But what it's basically saying is there are people who will try to draw us to a spot where we seek personal enrichment by the oppression of others, where we don't work for what we have, but we steal, where we make fun of others who have done well, but because we are envious, we seek to destroy them. We cannot fill our houses with stuff that we take. We cannot take from others what we shouldn't be taken because it's not ours. These are the people that will entice you into doing wrong. And Proverbs is telling you. A parent or a teacher here is telling you, turn your back on them. And that's what we need to do with evil. Turn our back on evil. 15 through 19 says, my child, don't go along with them. Stay far away from their paths. Avoid them at all costs. They rush to commit evil deeds. They hurry to commit murder. If a bird sees a trap being set, it knows to stay away. But those people set an ambush for themselves. They are trying to get themselves killed. Destruction is their faith. Such is the faith of all who are greedy for money. It robs them of life. Because money cannot become your idol. Money cannot become your security. Money can come in one day and completely leave the next day. Living a life that only desires material possessions, a life that has you running after those, no matter who you hurt in the process, is a life that's heading down the road of destruction. Your fate is destruction. And that is what it's trying to say here. They are trying to get themselves killed. In 20 to 23 it says, wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowds along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city. How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? How long will you mockers relish in your mocking? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Mockers, they are the proud and the arrogant. Those who mock, those who do well, those who do good, those who do the right thing. And they despise that knowledge, which boggles the mind, really. Why wouldn't you want knowledge? Why would you desire the evil things? Sometimes I find it difficult to understand those who mock, those who are deciding to do right in their lives, those who help somebody else either financially or a helping hand physically. Often they're mocked by others, and I don't understand how you would mock such a person. It's like you're saying, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person doing right. I don't want to be that person helping somebody else. I don't want to be that person doing good. I would think that one would want to help a brother or sister out, or a person in need, that one would want to do their best to walk a godly life, to walk a life worthy of whatever their purpose and reason on this earth for being is. We all have a purpose. We have a reason for being here. And the one way to know what that is to seek wisdom, to seek God for that calling. What is it that you want of me? Just as God asked Solomon, what would you desire? What do you want me to give you? And he said, wisdom. God has a desire for us, and we need to turn to God and say, God, what is it that you want from me? What would you desire me to do? Where would you desire me to go? What would you desire me to give up? These are all wise questions to ask the Holy and Wise One. I like verse 23. It says, come and listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. When I read that, the first person that came to mind was Christ, because who desires to share their heart with us? Who walked this earth sharing his heart and his vision with the people so that all would be wise, so that all would be receiving of his truth? Christ is the fountain of truth, and Christ came to pour himself into everyone who would have him. So when I read that, when I come listen to my counsel and share my heart with you and make you wise, I thought of Jesus Christ and all that he did while he was on this earth to help us. 24 says, I called you so often, but you wouldn't come. I reached to you, but you paid no attention. How many hear the voice of God today and turn their backs, pay no attention, and find themselves in troubles or in dilemmas where then they want to run to God and they want God to fix it? But God is giving us a heads up. Come to me now, and I will fill you with wisdom. I will help you to bypass those problems that you're getting yourself into. 25, you ignored my advice and rejected the correction I offered. So I will laugh when you are in trouble. I will mock you when disaster overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster engulfs you like a cyclone, and anguish and distress overwhelm you. Now, these are not words of a heartless God. These are not heartless words. These are a reaction to how absurd we are when we have the option of doing good, when we have the option of turning to one who could set us on the right path, who could help us through the difficulties of life, who could help us through the pain, who could help us make the right decisions so that we don't find ourselves in trouble. How absurd. So he's not saying that because he's being heartless or cold, but because it is a reaction to one who does love you. How many of us have parents who have said, if you don't stop doing that, you're going to get hurt. Now I'm going to laugh at you when you get hurt. Does that parent love that child any less? No. They're harsh words. They're probably not something we should say, but basically what it's saying is, I told you so. I told you so. And that's what God's saying. I told you this was going to happen. Why don't you listen to me? 28, when they cry for help, I will not answer. Though they anxiously search for me, they will not find me. For they hated knowledge and chose not to fear the Lord. They rejected my advice and paid no attention when I corrected them. Wisdom is speaking here. Wisdom says, I have offered myself to you, but you rejected me. I tried to keep you from harm, but you turned your back. And they hated the wisdom and the knowledge that they could have had in their hands. Therefore, since they have rejected wisdom, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way, choking on their own schemes. Basically, you reap what you sow. You seek wisdom. You pay attention to wisdom. You will take wise step. You turn your back on wisdom. you reject wise advice, you pay no attention to correction, you're going to reap the benefits of that which are destruction, many problems, just devastation. Sometimes we grow through issues in our lives that we don't know what to do with, but we've placed ourselves in that spot where we didn't have to be. 32 says, "For simpletons turn away from me to death. Fools are destroyed by their own complacency." And I looked up the meaning of complacency. I knew basically what it meant, but I wanted to see what the exact descriptions were in the dictionary. Complacency is a feeling of quiet pleasure or security, often unaware of potential danger, defect, or the like. Self or smug satisfaction with an existing situation or condition. In the Christian life, we call that compromise. We become so satisfied with the way some things are that we don't strive to better them. We just continue because it's easier. But in the end, it actually gets harder because there will be deep valleys and high mountains that will come your way. So it's not always, it may appear to be the easy path, but it's not going to be. Walking a godly life is not easy. It takes work. It takes commitment. It takes studying the Word of God, being committed to it, to devotional time with Him. So that's not easy either. But in the end, it will make your life easier. It will make your path smoother. It will make your decisions that you have to make easier to understand. Verse 33, "But all who listen to me," that is, all who listen to wisdom, "will live in peace, untroubled by fear of harm." Another name for wisdom is Christ. All who listen to me, all who listen to the Lord, will live in peace, untroubled by fear or harm. It doesn't say you're not going to have trouble. It doesn't say that harm may not try to come to you. It doesn't say that life is going to be full of peaches and cream. But you will live in safety and at ease. The Lord will protect you. But here's the thing. When there is trouble going on around you, and nowadays we see a lot of trouble. We see illnesses. We see viruses running rampant. We see people who won't leave their houses because of fear. We see, we've seen a lot. There's been so much going on for the past almost 2 years. But there are many whose trust are placed in God. And we can go through that life trusting Him. It doesn't mean that things are going to be perfect every day. It doesn't mean that we're not going to face a situation that we're going to need to battle through. But when we seek the wisdom of God, when we listen to Him, and that is reading the Bible, that is seeking Him in prayer, that is spending time with God, we can live untroubled by the fear or the harm that's in this world. We can face those hard times with the strength that only He can provide and the confidence. I'm going to finish today's right here. And I hope that somehow this has helped you through this study. I hope that you will join me again tomorrow for chapter 2 in Proverbs. And while I'm on here, I have a website that is called findingloveinjesus.com. Seek that out. I have a few blogs on there if you haven't read them. And Finding Love in Jesus exists so that all would know the love of Jesus, receive healing, find hope, and fulfill their God-given purposes. Thank you for joining me today. I love yous all, and may God bless yous. Bye.